Salutations everybody, it is Matty here today with an Obsidian news update. The fine folk at Eurogamer had the great pleasure of visiting Obsidian Entertainment and getting a full tour of their offices. I will have this video linked in the description down below. They're going to be doing a lot of coverage of Obsidian, so I'm sure we will be discussing them in the weeks to come on the channel even more. So that's going to be great stuff. But anyway, during this video tour, Fergus Urquhart, the CEO of Obsidian, was telling the host of Eurogamer how their narrative team was one of the biggest they've ever hired before, whether it was freelance or people in-house for Pillars of Eternity 2. Naturally, that sounds like a pretty big game, and that's exactly what the Eurogamer host asked. Was this their biggest game yet? And Fergus's response was quite interesting. Here's what he had to say.
Working on probably actually the biggest narrative team we've ever had working on any of our games.
Wow.
Is working on Eternity 2 right now. So
is that the biggest project right now?
No, it is not. Close, but it is not the biggest project.
Okay, all right, we won't ask any
There
more.
is another project.
All right, interesting. I think
So there appears to be another project secretly under works at Obsidian Entertainment that is quite possibly their largest project yet. What could this project be? What type of project is it? Who knows? He didn't really give us many hints, but I'm going to go ahead and guess anyway. For starters, we didn't see Obsidian launch any type of Kickstarter alongside this game, so I'm not sure how far into development this is, but it's not like Pillars of Eternity or Tyranny, where both games were kickstarted and Obsidian ran with it for the fans. Now, we don't know how much money they have in the bank, but this could possibly be a published title by someone else. They could be working with another studio, kind of like what they did with South Park Stick of Truth when they picked that one up. Obviously, Obsidian is a very competent developer, so the sounds of them working on their biggest title yet is super exciting. What type of game will it be though? Because we've seen recently they've been working on these overhead strategy role-playing games more and more, and I think that works best for them because of their budget. They're cheaper to make, it leans more heavy on art style, and this type of game style enables Obsidian to focus on what they're best at, which is role-playing, because it's not tying down all of the game to some type of combat system or an open world, something along those lines, because these games are less demanding compared to the big AAA titles we see nowadays, where I don't know if Obsidian has the budget to compete in that area, but in this part, they are the leaders, which is why I think they might continue on down that path. But the idea of Obsidian working on their biggest project yet, let's say it's an open world RPG, whether it's first person, third person, whatever, that's just a really exciting idea to have, that Obsidian might be working on that. But if it is the idea I had, which is possibly someone publishing a title, then that means that they're working with someone else's IP. I don't know if Obsidian would be creating a new IP alongside someone else unless that company bought them, which no, they are proudly independent at the moment, so I highly doubt that'll ever happen in the near future. It's sad we have no idea what exactly this game is. We can only really do guesswork at the most here based off Obsidian's past work, but still, the idea of a very big project coming from them should excite a lot of gamers anyway, so I'm curious to see what you guys are going to guess about in the comments down below. Fire away, people, and also be sure to check out that Obsidian tour video. It's really cool to get a look inside their studio and see what kind of workspace they interact in. While you're down there, be sure to follow me on Twitter, like me on Facebook. Those links are in the description down below, along with my Patreon. Do consider supporting that, as it fuels all the content we create here. Other than that, stay sexy, stay active. I love you all. Peace.